Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
Good day to you, sir. I'm trying something different.
Ooh.
You don't see it because while we record video, you don't see my video until it's sent to you.
We're not live video.
I got a new desk. It's one of those standing/sitting desks.
Ooh.
So I'm going to stand during this recording, which should eliminate any chair squeak, which you may or may not notice. I notice it when I edit my other show. And, hopefully it'll give me a little more energy because I feel like the Puss in Boots episode was very disappointing, and I want to put more effort into this.
Thank you.
It's just Puss in Boots just didn't give us a thing to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like a 20-minute episode. And no, it's fine. I don't notice the chair squeak.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I don't. I'm glad you're standing. I'm glad you're getting some therapeutic.
I feel it in my back. Let me tell you, this shit ain't painless.
Yeah. Anyways, Jeff, tell them what we watched this week and tell them what the theme is this year.
Yeah, so if you haven't been paying attention or if this is your first time here, this year, usually we do monthly themes where we change the theme every month. So, movies starring spiders. But this year, 2025, what we're doing is 1 degree of separation. So each film has one tie to the next film. So our previous film was Dogma, which starred Ben Affleck. And that leads us to this week's film, which Mark picked, which is called Argo from 2012. It runs for 2 hours even. It is directed and starring Ben Affleck. It also has Bryan Cranston, Alan Arkin, John Goodman, Victor Garber, Clea Duvall, Scoot McNairy, and a host of others. It is based on a true story of
1979. Yep.
Yeah, 1979, the Iranian Revolution, which found some U.S. hostages stuck in Iran, and they needed to concoct a plan to get in under the Iranian radar and get these people out. And they decided the best way to do it, at least the brainchild of Tony Mendez, real person, is to doctor up a movie and pretend to be scouting locations they're in Iran under the guise of being Canadian filmmakers.
Yeah, so directed by Ben Affleck, right? He also co-wrote it and stars it. So what is your...
It won Best Picture in 2013.
Yep. It
won
did.
Best Writing. Best Achievement in Filmmaking.
So this was a kind of controversial nomination time for this movie and Ben Affleck, is because he was nominated for Best Director. However, he did not win, even though many thought that he was going to and should have won for Best Director.
Who won instead?
Who did win? I don't
well,
remember.
I just found out, while you're thinking of that,
Yeah.
I just found out recently that Best Director and Best Picture, while I knew they were separate, I didn't realize that the director, depending on how they're credited, like if you're a director and you're not credited as a producer, you're not recognized as an Oscar winner should your film win Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Right. Well,
which is weird, because if you won Best Motion Picture of the Year and you're the guy who directed it, it feels like it should go hand in hand.
Yeah. So Ang Lee for Life of Pi won in 2013. And I'm sorry, Ben Affleck wasn't even nominated for Best Director.
That's controversial.
Yeah. And now as I'm looking at it and remembering, I think that was the controversial topic at the Academy Awards that year. And I mean, just I'm a big fan. I think I'm established here on the pod as saying so. As I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck, the director. He is he's very gifted in filmmaking. He does most of the films that I've seen of Ben Affleck's that he's directed, they're very tight. I mean, they're very well put together. As like this film, this film could have been very easily could have been a 3-hour film, I think. And
Oh, thank God.
right.
Oh,
But it's not. It's a 2-hour film, and there's no wasted time in this film. There's no part of this film where I was like, why are we here, right? And it makes the film much more appealing to me, because this is a very when I think of filmmaking, and this film that takes place in 1979, so the feel of the film is different. It's an older feeling, older technology. The film, I think, is shot in a way that kind of depicts the time period.
mm-hmm.
And so, it very well could have been boring, this film. And I think it's anything but boring. I think it's very tension filled. And as we talk about it and get to the last act of the film, I think I can very well see why this won Best Picture, is because it is nail biting. I had seen it before. You had never seen it before, so give me your thoughts.
First, let me say this. I just looked up Ben Affleck's first directing credit, and it's for a short film called "I Killed My Lesbian Wife, Hung Her on a Meat Hook, and Now I Have a 3-Picture Deal at Disney."
That's awesome. I want to watch that.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to watch a movie, I don't know what will. As my first viewing, I definitely enjoyed it. It reminded me a bit of Bridge of Spies, the Spielberg movie, which is excellent. Just the kind of that intrigue, the in and out. That was tense, but this was more definitely a suspense film. I don't want to call it a thriller, but it is a political suspense film.
Yeah.
This is the kind of wartime movie I like, where it's not about the big battles, and even though I don't know that this is technically wartime, but there's a revolution going on, so there's some military action of some sort. I like the smaller stories within, I don't really dig Saving Private Ryan as much, even though I recognize it's a great film. But I like the smaller focused stories as opposed to huge battles and, people getting killed everywhere and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I did like the focus of this. It is an interesting story about a real person who, as far as I can tell, this is largely pretty accurate, with the exception of the third act. From what I read, the third act is much more played up in intensity, whereas in the real life, they kind of got away scot-free.
Yeah.
Without any sort of real, I think that the time that Iran noticed is when Canada came out and was like, look, we saved these people. So, which is fine. I realize that this is a movie, and them just getting away scot-free could be kind of interesting, but I did see that, what's his name? Tony Mendez, his wife, said that while they were on the plane, the flight got stalled because of mechanical issues, and that probably made them shit their pants. And apparently as well, when they were flying, they were very much waiting for that notification they left Iranian airspace. So I really like the scene too, when they left Iranian airspace, the hugs going around. But if I were Ben Affleck, there's one guy with a mustache the whole movie who's just shitting on the plan the whole time. If I were Ben Affleck, I would have gone right up to that guy and said, "See, bitch, told your ass. Shut the fuck up and sit down."
Isn't that Scoot? Wasn't that Scoot McNair?
Maybe. I don't know which guy he was, but it was the same guy that at the end of the movie came up and shook Ben Affleck's hand.
Yeah.
Which I get,
Scoot
okay.
McNair.
You could have been like, "Man, I'm wrong. My bad. You're a genius. You made this happen. You literally saved my life."
Yeah.
I dig the cast. I dig Alan Arkin a lot in this. He's a lot of fun, and John Goodman as well as this. They don't really. Their job is to answer the phone. I mean, and really make the entire pitch believable, because they did create that studio for this thing to really try to make this as believable as possible. So I dug that. It's just a good thrilling drama. I could have done with a little less of the people bitching. Like, this guy came here, risked his life to come and get you. And they're all like, I don't know. This probably won't work. Shut the fuck up. He's like, I've done, well, not this specifically, but this is what I do. I get people out. Fuck. Ungrateful bitches.
Well, I mean, you talk about like you're in a country that, like, should they find you, I mean, maybe they'll kill you. I mean, that's probably a chance you don't want to make.
All of those hostages, the ones that did get caught, all of them were freed and safe and sound. So they probably would not have been killed, other than they were hiding, maybe. But from what I read, the hostages who were captured were freed eventually, safe and sound. Granted, probably with a shitload of trauma and a need for therapy.
Yeah. Well, it's, I really enjoyed the Hollywood aspect of this. Alan Arkin and John Goodman and Ben Affleck putting this fake movie production together and going, casting the roles in the movie, having a table read. It's just, it was interesting to me to see, like, and I didn't do any research on this side of the story or anything, but I mean, I would be interested to know if like they actually did all of that, right? If it actually went to, because they had to sell this concept in this movie, and they had to make this story.
Well, they
so
did get
believable.
it in Variety.
Yeah,
like the whole thing with the Variety magazine gives a level of authenticity when they have to show that to the Iranians. So I think they may have. I'm not certain, but based on what I've seen, the circumstances and the setup seems to be pretty accurate. Now, I don't think, because I couldn't find it, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they pulled the plug on the plan right before the day of them supposedly actually doing the plan like they did in the movie.
Yeah.
I think they pretty much let the plan go forward. I think, again, that was to create that tension of, hey, your tickets aren't here, they're not ready, and they're getting on the phone and, having to do that whole scramble with Bryan Cranston at the end. I think that was all fictionalized, but largely from what I see, the setup, like the actors they got, they kind of look, they do at the end of the movie, which I appreciate, any based on a true story movie, showing you the real person next to the actor that portrayed them. I always appreciate that. It kind of brings it home, makes it feel more real. So I thought that was good. There's also a lot of interviews with Tony, Mendez on YouTube. So they, like they said in the movie, hey, you're going to get this award, but we're going to take it away because it was classified. It was like, we're going to recognize you in front of the only people who are allowed to know. But I think in the 90s, it was they allowed him to, not only allowed him, but asked him to go tell the press what happened. I don't know if it was because the Canadians were getting all the damn perks or whatever, but here's this guy who came up with it, risked his life, went to go get it, and now the American government says, okay, now you can get credit because we're kind of removed enough from this Iranian situation. So go for it.
Yeah, it's I mean, this type of, and like much like you, this type of story or political thriller, because it is, I mean, it's a political film too.
For sure.
It's a lot of these decisions were being made, I guess the impetus for the entire plot was a political decision by Jimmy Carter.
It's interesting. I don't know that, I'm not sure who installed the leader of Iran that, caused this revolution to come up against him.
Yeah.
I will say, even though the film doesn't spend a lot of time with the Iranians, they are kind of the villains.
Yeah.
The Iranians in that situation, I'm not speaking of current day, I don't know political landscape that well, but again, for what I saw, they released all those prisoners. Like they had a puppet essentially installed from the United States running their country, and the people of the country were like, fuck this, and they went and took over, got their country back. I gotta respect that, right? I think that's interesting. I could be wrong about some things. Again, I'm not geopolitically minded, but I thought that was interesting because in a lot of ways, the Americans were kind of the bad guys. Now, granted, these people in the assembly, what do you call it? The U.S.
Embassy.
Thank you. We're very innocent. They're there just working, but at the same time, they're like, burn the files, burn them all. So it's interesting. It was a very interesting topic to go into.
Well, it's a lot of it's interesting because you go down this kind of like butterfly effect rabbit hole so you take present day climate in the Middle East, and it's not good.
Because Iran is in the news again,
right?
And it's not Iran's fault again. Honestly, they got bombed first. They weren't even involved with the Hamas stuff.
Yeah,
again, I don't know anything.
No, okay. So real quick, Israel bombed Iran recently within the last 3 months because they had the blessing of the United States. That's it. The United States is kind of like Israel's big brother, and Israel doesn't really do anything without the United States blessing. And because the United States is really funding and giving armament to Israel, and it started a long time ago, and it continues today, and so when Israel bombs Iran, they do it with the United States blessing, and then they make it under the guise of, oh well, they've got nuclear
weapons of mass destruction.
Right? Yes, yeah.
That sounds fucking familiar.
It is. But you take what happened in this movie, and kind of the backdrop for why these people are hiding and trying to get out of the country. What if Iran never starts this revolution, right, against this United States-backed leader? And what if the United States continues to make inroads in Iran? It's an interesting concept just because, and I agree with the sentiment that no foreign country should be influencing the, how would I feel if some foreign country was influencing the leaders?
Oh, you mean like interfering in elections and creating, troll bots?
Sure.
Yeah.
But you're talking in the 80s, right? And so, Middle East, the geopolitical climate in the Middle East in the 80s was nowhere near what it is today. And
they're still Cold Warring, though. They were still very much in a Cold War situation.
Sure. And this movie touches a little bit on Russia's invasion of Afghanistan, and so there was a lot of shit going on in this time period in this region, and the movie even says, "Hey, we have to keep the limelight on what's going on in Iran, even though a lot of the world wants to talk about Russia and what Russia's doing in Afghanistan." I thought that was interesting, is because, all of a sudden, if the limelight fades from this situation in Iran, how does that impact the United States' ability to negotiate or, work with Iran on getting the hostages out? So it just, there's a lot of parallels in this movie to what's going on current day, and I think that's interesting. And it's completely coincidental when I chose this movie. I didn't really even remember that this movie took place in Iran or had anything to do with what happened in Iran at the time. I just remember it being a good movie, and I wanted to watch it again because I didn't really remember a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
But
And history repeats itself.
often, it's interesting. But I enjoyed Bryan Cranston a lot in this film. I think he's so good in just those kind of supporting roles where he's so magnetic when he's on screen. Him and Alan Arkin have the same type of vibe to me on when they're in a movie, even though they're really different types of actors. I think like Alan Arkin, he's kind of that like unhinged older actor, and in the movies that I've seen him in and remember him in. And R.I.P. because I think he's dead. But
Alan Arkin has passed away.
Yeah, I think he died last year. But
I also love Alan Arkin. I'm a particular fan of Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, no, he plays, he plays that straight guy, and not straight, not in the context of sexual, but like just like, I
knew what you meant.
Yeah, but he plays a straight guy, but the unhinged type straight guy, where he's always got this kind of edge to him, and the edge could be humorous. It could be like, oh my God, what is he going to do next? But every time he's on screen, you're watching just because like everything is drawn to him. He's got the kind of gravitational pull. And I feel that way with Bryan Cranston as well, and it's hard to believe that Bryan Cranston wasn't a thing before Malcolm in the Middle. You remember?
Yep.
You remember that show?
I remember that show,
and that's
why it was
wild.
such a shock to see him go to a drama like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
and then kind of everybody knows who he is now.
Right. But I mean, this movie is littered with supporting actors that you're like, oh my God, it's that guy. And you may not know their name, like Kyle Chandler's one of them, but I know Kyle Chandler's name. The two old guys later on in the movie.
What a name dropper! Oh, Kyle Chandler. There's Richard Kind, who I know as he was in Uncut Gems, right? I'm sorry, he was the guy that he was like the uncle.
Oh yeah. He was. You're right. Absolutely. And in this movie, he's the the financier of the production.
He's got one scene, so
yeah. But I forget what like his character's purpose was.
They were basically, they had to pitch it to him to get it greenlit, and yeah, that's all. He just showed up for that one seat.
But Titus Welliver, who you may know from, he had a show on what you call it, Bosch. Do you remember the show Bosch? Amazon Prime. I don't know.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
that this is the guy from Uncut Gems. I'll find out.
He Victor Garber, who plays the Canadian ambassador.
Him I know. Because I watched Alias all the way through when back when Netflix was a disc rental system, I would rent Alias, and I watched that whole show on there. So he was in it. I love that show.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of recognizable faces in the film, and you may not know their names, but you're like, Chris Messina is another one. You're like, man, that guy, and he's really good, and he's only got like maybe 3 scenes, but they're really good 3 scenes. And I think that's what makes this movie so good, is that it's an ensemble film for sure, and it's Ben Affleck is the main character, but it's really held together by all of these different actors and these characters that support different parts of the film. And John Goodman and Alan Arkin, I mean, they have their own separate kind of faction of the film, but they are so important to the backstory and what is happening over in Iran, that it's easy to get behind their characters just because they're so integral to the success of the plot. And so like the scene where they're walking back in the studio to their office, and they get stopped because there's a film scene being shot. And
I would have just pushed through. They
I would
waited
too.
too
Yeah,
damn long.
yeah. I
And
would.
like, this is life and death. I don't give a shit about your movie.
Yeah, but they didn't know, right? So they didn't know it's life and death.
That is true.
And so they're just
There was a certain level of nerves there, though.
Yeah, right. And so and it was. I mean, that's the type of I guess filmmaking elevation, is that a scene like that where it's just very tension-filled. You're like, oh my god, just fucking go, just push that guy out the way and go. The phone's ringing. Get the fuck back to the office. So like, it's that type of vibe in this film that makes it so good, is because those scenes, those like mundane scenes where it's just like, okay, they're just waiting to get by because this guy is filming a scene. It's so tension-filled, and the stakes are so, like, the film builds to these stakes, and like they make it a point, because the film says, and it says it multiple different times, that they're just there to answer the phone. You even said it earlier.
Yeah.
They're just there to answer the phone.
Like they helped make it legitimate, and then after they made it legitimate, they're there to answer the phone.
Right.
By the way, it was Judd Hirsch in Uncut Gems.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
who I was thinking of.
Richard Kind was not in that film?
No. Oh. And if he was, he wasn't the character I was thinking of.
I love Judd Hirsch. I love him in Independence Day was maybe one of my favorite characters. Yeah, so I mean, a film like this, easy to see why it got the award buzz that it did. I want to say, I don't remember what else it was going up for at the Academy Award. Let's see, Best Picture. I don't remember what other movies were up against.
What it was going up against?
Yeah.
Well, we already said Life of Pi.
Well, yeah, it was Life of Pi. I'm just trying to get to the okay, Best Picture. So it was up against More, which I believe was a foreign film. Beast of the Southern Wild.
Never heard of that.
Django Unchained.
Should have won.
The musical.
Django's better than this movie. That's for damn sure.
Huh. Okay, that's an interesting conversation. Les Miserables, the musical.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
No.
Life of Pi.
Never seen it.
I've seen it. I remember it being pretty good. Lincoln, you've seen.
I've seen Lincoln.
Spielberg. Yep. Silver Linings Playbook.
That's the one with Bradley Cooper and
Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence, I almost said Hudson. Yeah, I've never seen that, but people seem to. That's a Ridley Scott film, or no? Who made that?
No. Who did make Silver Linings Playbook?
It's a really popular movie that people bring up a lot, but I've never seen it. And it felt like when it came out, I was like, why is this a thing? Why is it David O. Russell?
David O. Russell, yep.
The fuck did he make?
He's made a lot of
American Hustle,
critically
Three Kings.
acclaimed, yeah. And then the last movie it was up against is Zero Dark 30, another political thriller. So I mean, weird. Interesting collection of films that year. But all right, so let's talk about it. Django Unchained versus Argo.
Not even a question for me.
Okay, so
Django takes a huge dump all over Argo.
But okay, so why?
It's way more entertaining.
Sure.
It has a faster pace. It looks more appealing. It has better dialogue, better characters. The intensity is different, but feels less contrived. And what I mean by that is that the tension in Argo is very much contrived. Like, it just keeps going. They got to get to the phone. Oh shit, they got the guys looked at their passports and pulled them over. Oh shit, they got their tickets. Like everything that could go wrong and barely goes right does. That's kind of why that tension feels sort of manufactured. Whereas the tension in Django when they're around the table and, Candy realizes why they're there, that tension when he starts telling the story and they all have their hands on the table and he's like, "Can I release my hands to pull my billfold out?" Like that whole scene is so much more intense. Has the best musical needle drop I can think of with a Tupac song. Django is perfect.
And this is from
this movie's not perfect, and Django is perfect.
This from a known what's his face?
Former Tarantino hater. If you listen to the wrap-up episode of Tarantino chronologically, you'll know that I have turned a corner.
Yeah.
And
well, it's good. I'm glad you've learned the error of your ways.
Stuck one. Don't rub it in.
But Tarantino wasn't even nominated for Best Director either.
Doesn't matter.
In this,
it's the best.
This year.
Have you? Okay. What about you? Which one's better, Argo or Django?
So it's been a while since I've seen Django. I remember enjoying Django very much. It is a very enjoyable film, right?
Watch that shit again.
Yeah, no, I mean
it will blow your balls off just as much as it did the first time you saw it.
Yeah,
it stands up. Like if I watched Argo again, it wouldn't. I don't know that I enjoy it as much as I did the first time because it is kind of. I don't want to say it's plotting, but some of the points become less interesting. There's a lot, while there are some charismatic performances out of Arkin and John Goodman, I think the performances out of the six people that are trapped, and even Ben Affleck himself, is pretty subdued, which it would be.
Yeah.
But that does take away from that level of entertainment, whereas Django is insanely well acted from top to bottom. There's no forgettable performances in Django. But I interrupted you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. And I don't think I know. What's his face? Leonardo DiCaprio was nominated for. No, I take that back. He was not nominated for his performance in Django. Christoph Waltz is the only actor that got.
Christoph Waltz was, yeah.
And Alan Arkin was nominated,
which is
as well.
Robbery. Fucking Jamie Foxx is so good in that.
Yeah, I mean Christoph
Everyone
Waltz
in
won.
that movie's great.
I
know
for his role.
I think it's Robbery that Jamie Foxx didn't get a lead actor nod. Maybe,
and I actually think from my recollection, and I think I will go back and watch Django, sometime in the near future.
Yeah,
but
and then come back and then tell me which one's better.
But I remember Christoph Waltz's performance. While he's good, Christoph Waltz is very good in most everything he does. I remember his performance or his role in that film and his performance being kind of behind three other actors in that film, right? DiCaprio, Jamie Foxx, and then Samuel L. Jackson. And
Samuel L. Jackson's so good. Like,
yeah,
man,
right? I just think sometimes when we talk about a lot, and you're very prominent in saying that you don't give a fuck about the Academy and the awards that they give out. But I think there is a stigma in the Academy against Tarantino. I think that there is a stigma against rewarding films that take ideas and make them, and maybe they wouldn't like. I'm trying to figure out how to say this, but so Django is a very. Did you see Sinners? The movie Sinners?
I need to. I haven't watched it yet. I heard it's awesome.
It is. And I would say that it is a very. The dialogue's not nearly as good as like a Tarantino film, but the style is very Tarantino-esque in that film. And I just think if like anybody else had made Django Unchained and it's the same movie, they probably get nominated. I just think that
I mean, yeah.
there's a stigma against Tarantino that he's anti-establishment, right? He's very outspoken in like how he cares, or lack of thereof, caring about his recognition by this filmmaking body, and that's kept him from really being recognized, officially as one of the best filmmakers, that we've ever seen. And I think there's going to be a time where he's not making movies anymore, and we're like, oh man, he should have won X amount of Best Picture films or X amount of Best Directing, and it's kind of, and we go back and look at his filmography, and you have a whole podcast dedicated to it, but I mean, there's no bad films, I don't think, in his filmography.
I agree. Having seen them all, none of them are bad. Right. There are some that I don't particularly like because of me, who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Pulp Fiction fan. A lot of people love it, but I can't deny that's a great movie. But yeah, it doesn't have a bad movie. And the whole thing is that he says he's only making 10 of them. And so we're at 9 now.
Yeah.
And,
and maybe he does, maybe his next film, because there's been, kind of rumblings on the internet that he was going to do a Star Trek film, and that was going to be his last film. And I was like, that's weird, really fucking weird. But it would also be really weird to see a Tarantino Star Trek film. But
I'm here for it. That shit would be amazing.
Could you imagine the dialogue of a Star Trek film directed by Tarantino?
I already said Samuel L. Jackson as a Klingon. Give it to me.
His next film, I hopefully is something completely original and not, based on anything or in a universe that's already established. It's because that's where I think he thrives
because that's all you've ever seen him do.
Sure. But it's also established. That's that's kind of his thing. That he comes up with.
You don't know that he wouldn't thrive if making a Marvel movie. Like if he made a Marvel movie without any interference from the studio.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Which Disney's so heavy-handed in all of their.
You give him like a damn not Predator, fucking Punisher movie or something.
Yeah. Which I mean, and that's the thing to think about is that like Martin Scorsese, very outspoken on comic book films and all that. But could you imagine Martin Scorsese making a film about fucking Superman or some shit?
No, it'd suck ass. You can be a auteur and not shit on other movies, but he doesn't know how. Whereas, Tarantino is on auteur. Nolan is an auteur, and he's directed superhero movies.
Yeah.
So you don't have, you can.
So you don't think Tarantino is an auteur?
No, I do. I said Tarantino's an auteur.
Okay. I thought you said he wasn't. So
I might have misspoken then if I did, but he most certainly is.
So to bring it back full circle. So Ben Affleck, he was scheduled, and I think he had a deal with Warner Brothers to direct, his Batman film. He was cast as Batman, and he had a deal that he was going to direct his own Batman film. And I am super sad that and like disappointed that we never got a Ben Affleck directed, because I think it would have been so ground level. Because you think like a film like The Town, Ben Affleck directed.
Yeah, good movie.
Right. Underworld crime centered film, and I think like that's the type of Batman story that would do really, really well. And and so we got Ben Affleck as Batman, but then we got what's his face directing it, and it was just terrible. It was a waste of Ben Affleck. It was a waste of, and I'm not
Zack Snyder, you douchebag.
Yeah. And I'm not the fan of Ben Affleck the actor, as much as I'm the fan of Ben Affleck the filmmaker. But I also think that he was completely wasted in his role, and I think he's one of those, and I think Ben Affleck is one of the best directors working today. You look at
all 6 of his films, well, 5 or 6, like they're not many.
But most of them, like there's one I haven't seen, and it was the one that takes place like in the 30s or something. But
you love the 30s.
I do love the 30s, established here on the podcast. But
yeah, he's got Gone Baby Gone, The Town, Argo, Live by Night, and Air.
Live by Night. I haven't seen that one. But I mean, he doesn't have any misses there, the ones I've seen. And so I just think he's one of the best. He's one of the best filmmakers working today. He doesn't make movies all that often. But like he wrote, him and Matt Damon wrote what's that film we just watched?
Dead Poets Society.
Robin Williams, not Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams.
What is it? Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. And so like
I got those 2 movies conflated because they're both Robin Williams serious picks.
Right.
And he came out probably around the same time. He looks the same.
Fun fact, I've never seen Dead Poets Society, so
neither have I.
I've heard it's good, but I've just never seen it.
Not on my list.
But I like Ben Affleck, the filmmaker, and I think this movie, and I'll just start, but I'm going to recommend it because I do think it's a very well put together film. It is entertaining. It does take it is very tension filled. It takes a story that is unique. And it gives it the Hollywood aspect of this movie was highly enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to recommend it. What about you?
I'll also recommend it. I think it is really good. It's hard for me to say I'd rewatch it because, again, I don't think the performances are quite. I don't think they're bad. I just don't think they are as engaging as they could be. But I think the story is really interesting. It does have a lot of tense, thrilling moments. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Yes. So Jeff, what are we watching next week?
Well, in this week's film that we just watched, there is a woman named Clea and Duvall.
Okay.
She played one of the people that got out. She was the one with the glasses, the brunette. And in 2004, she was in a movie.
Okay, good.
A movie I've not seen, but it's kind of like well known. It also has Bill Pullman in it, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. So from 2004, we're going to watch The Grudge. Runs for an hour and a half.
What a random pull.
I was going through. No, you want to know what the other poll was going to be?
Okay, what?
Okay, let me pull it up because I can't remember all the details. But it was a movie starring John Goodman, where he had a bit part. He played a cop. So, like, he's billed as. Let me see. I don't know. He's billed as like police officer at diner. But it's a horror, a schlocky 1984 horror movie called Chud, Chud, which I was thinking about picking, but I really just didn't want to torture you.
All of the actors in this movie, Argo.
Yeah, and I'd gone with one of the biggest names, John Goodman, and we were going to watch Chud.
Chud. So instead, we get The Grudge.
Yeah, unless you want to, I'll get. No, what do you want to do?
We're gonna watch
Chud
The Grudge because I have not seen The Grudge in such a long time.
Oh, but you have seen Chud.
No, I haven't seen Chud. I didn't know it existed.
Well, maybe we need to watch Chud.
No, no, because The Grudge presents a challenge for our next film. So,
That's what I like, man. I get tired of having the smorgasbord. I really want slim pickings.
well, I mean,
So
Takashi
you got Sarah Michelle Gellar, Bill
Shimizu
Pullman.
is the director here, and he directed all of the Grudge films. So,
You watch Grudge too.
Ju-on The Grudge. So he's the original director for, I think, what this film was based on.
Yeah.
So
This
that's
is like
interesting.
the American remake.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
It's kind of like Ringu. Although I've never seen Ringu, but I've seen The Ring. Never seen Chud. Might have to watch that on my own time.
Anyways, what you could do if you're watching at home is hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content right here on the YouTube channel. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. Just give us a like, follow, and a subscribe. And Jeff, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on the internet. You can find me on my podcast called Chronologically, where we're getting ready to start our latest season here. And it may have actually just started when this comes out, where we're going through the 90s films of Stephen King. I think the episode on the 1990 It film miniseries should be out by now. You can also check out All Things Being Sequel, where we're trudging our way through the 3 Ninja films, and one of us might not make it. So definitely recommend checking those out.
All right. Jeff, I hope you have the same last words as I do in my mind.
I have the same last words you do. On 3, 2, 1.
Argo, fuck yourself.